Good morning, students. Today, we are going to have second session of fundamental rights and duties. And this session, we are going to learn about fundamental duties. Now, what do you mean by duty? Duty is an ethical, moral, or legal responsibility. Sometimes it is on always, and sometimes for a certain period of time. What do you mean by always or certain period of time? Like, if I'm doing job in some company, in some profession, I'm doing job, and I can change that job. That is a responsibility for certain period of time. That means whatever time I am actually doing job in that particular company, for that particular time, I am having that duty. And now assume I am a part of one family. I am a part of one family. And for that family, I am having several duties. So that duties, all of those duties are a part of always routine. Those duties are always a duty. I cannot change the duty. So this is a type that duty can be owned always and duty can be owned for certain period of time. So now, what is fundamental duty? The Indian Constitution has already granted us fundamental rights, as we have already learned. In turn, citizens are expected to do certain things, and those particular things which are expected to do by the citizens, that are fundamental duties. Article 15A deal with fundamental duties, and there are 11 fundamental duties. They are as follows. First, abide by the Constitution and respects its ideal and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Each citizen of the country, it is the duty of each and every citizen that they have to pay respect to the Constitution. They have to pay respect to the ideals, institutions, to national flag and national anthem. Second, cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired our national struggle for freedoms. Whatever ideals, whatever bases were there for national struggle of freedom, national struggle of independence, like brotherhood, equality, freedom. Each citizen has to cherish that idea. Each citizen has to follow those noble ideals. This is the second duty. Third, uphold and protect the unity, sovereignty, and integrity of India. That means whatever features are already there for our constitution, for our preamble, whatever features are there, unity, sovereignty, integrity, these are the features. So we have to, being a citizen of India, we have to protect those features. We have to uphold, we have to cherish those features for the future. Fourth, defend the country and render national service if and when required. If in any case we are actually getting involved in certain kind of problems where external enemies are creating problem in our countries, in that case, citizens of India, citizen of our country, they have to take care of the society, they have to take care of the property, they have to take care of the country, and for that taking care part, if they have to use arm, they can use, they have to use weapons, they can use, but for the protection of the society, for the protection of the country. Promote harmony and spirit of brotherhood amongst all citizens, irrespective of religious, linguistic, regional, sectional diversities. Give up the practice of derogatory to dignity of women. So basically, being the citizen of India, we have to actually promote harmony, promote brotherhood. Whatever caste is there, whatever language, whatever religion, whatever sexual diversities we are having, but we have to actually maintain brotherhood. We have to actually maintain a harmony, a peaceful environment in our society. Sixth, value and preserve our cultural heritage. As we already know, India is a basic ancient civilization. Our cultural heritage is the oldest one and is the nicest one culture. So we have to preserve it. We have to value it. We have to respect this cultural heritage. Why we have to respect? We got this culture from our ancestor. We have to preserve, and we are passing this culture for our future generation, so that our future generation should also get know to about this richest culture of the world, this richest and oldest culture of the world. Seventh, protect and improve our national environment, including lakes, forest, river, wildlife. Have empathy for living creatures. As we have already know that because of pollution, because of several human activities, already global warming, pollution, a lot of, you can say, discontent is there in our national environment, in our natural environment, we can say. So being a citizen of India and being a citizen of world, we have to protect our natural environment. And if we are protecting our natural environment, directly we are protecting our national environment also, as lakes in India are a part of national environment also and natural environment also. So this is our seventh duty. So our eighth duty is temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry, and reform. Now, what do you mean by scientific temper? Scientific temper means applying a logic, applying a scientific logic. If we are using, we are actually learning from the development of other countries, from the humanism of, from the scientific developments of other countries, and we are applying that particular development, we are using that particular knowledge, that particular logic for the enhancement of the productivity of our country. So this is our eighth duty, that we should learn from the development of other countries and we should actually implement those development, implement those ideas in our countries also. Ninth, safeguard public property and reject violence. Simply, as we are already a part of 21st century, we already knew the thing that for small, minor issues, though we are having unity in our country, but still for several minor issues, sometimes what happen, we are going on strikes, protests, and those strikes are taking violent shape. And because of that violent shape, what we are doing, what citizens of India are doing, they are actually damaging the public property. They are damaging the buses, railway, trains, railway, you can say infrastructure. And all these infrastructure, all these buses, all this public property are part of India only. So we should actually protect, we should safeguard this public property, and we should reject violence. We should actually omit violence from our society. This is our ninth duty. Our 10th duty is strive toward excellence in all areas of individual and collective activity, so that India as a nation scales to higher level of endeavor and achievement. So as a part of citizen of India, as an Indian citizen, we should take care of the things, we should insert our knowledge, we should use our knowledge, and we should gain more knowledge in order to make India as a better nation, as having a better achievement. And India should excellence in all areas of productivity, all areas of knowledge, science, technology, etc. Our last duty is a parent or a guardian has to provide education to his or her child between the age of 6 to 14 years. This duty was added in the Constitution in 2002. As we have already discussed, this is a right to education for children. We have already discussed this right. So as a parent, as a citizen, again, as a parent or guardian, it is the duty of parent or guardian to provide education to his or her ward or a child. The child, whoever is between 6 years of age to 14 years of age, that is his right to get education, and that is the duty of his parent or guardian to provide education to him or her. So this was the second module of fundamental duties. Thank you so much.